Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Tonight, Governor Hochul is taking action to address a bus driver shortage in our state. Some school districts are missing so many drivers that it is impacting pickup and drop-off times. Big Fox's Matt Kleindon spoke with a local school district transportation director about the issue and how the governor hopes to get more bus drivers on the road.
Good evening. With the school year underway, bus drivers are wanted throughout the Empire State, and Governor Hochul is looking to take action to fill those open positions.
I don't think that there's any school bus operation that's saying that they don't have a shortage.
Like many school districts in the state, Transportation Director Larry Eckelson says Corning Painted Post is short on bus drivers. He says it's an issue that predates the pandemic. However, it's become more pronounced with kids returning to school.
Up until just recently, when schools had to cancel school because of bus driver shortages, there wasn't a lot of folks that was aware of the situation.
Eckelson says the declaration by Governor Hochul should bring the issue further to light. Governor Hochul announced a plan to hire more bus drivers by expanding testing opportunities for people to get a commercial driver's license. New York will also begin an outreach to over 500,000 current CDL license holders in the state. Eckelson says that while he supports the measures in the plan, the state should not lose focus on driver safety.
We are transporting, the most precious cargo that we have, and we don't, in my opinion, that's one thing that we can't lose sight of at the end of the day.
He says anyone who is interested in becoming a bus driver should look on school district websites or find ads for bus contractors on social media. Matt Kleindon, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
2 more men have been indicted for the torture and murder of Juan Jose Gate earlier this year. 18-year-old Malik Weems and 25-year-old Eddie Marte were indicted for assault, murder, and kidnapping charges by the Chemung County Grand Jury. The two are accused of working with Horseheads native Thomas Bovard to torture and murder Gate back in January. Weems and Marte are also accused of kidnapping and torturing another man in Ontario County back in April. It's unclear at this time whether the two cases are connected. The Schuyler County Department of Health will be holding vaccine clinics in Watkins Glen this week. All 3 available vaccines will be offered at the Watkins Glen Community Center on Thursday afternoon from 3 to 5 and Friday morning from 9 to noon. Residents are asked to register for a vaccine appointment on the Schuyler County Department of Health's website. New information from Pfizer on COVID-19 vaccines for kids has some parents wondering when they can get their children vaccinated. But as Britt Conway reports, 4 steps need to happen first.
All done.
It's all done. All done.
Almost all done. We're closing in on a COVID-19 vaccine for kids 5 to 11. Pfizer-BioNTech announced Monday trial data shows a lower dose of their vaccine was both safe and effective for kids in that age group. And it can't come soon enough. COVID-19 cases have continued to increase exponentially among kids in the U.S. and now account for nearly 26% of all cases reported nationwide, with nearly 226,000 new cases over the past week.
It's a serious issue among children, and the best way to protect them is with this vaccine.
But before shots can go into arms, there are 4 steps that have to happen first. Step 1, Pfizer needs to request emergency use authorization from the FDA. Step 2, the FDA needs to amend the vaccine's EUA to include younger people. Step 3, the CDC must recommend the vaccine for this age group. Step 4, once the CDC and FDA sign off, a rollout could begin. Health experts predict shots could be available by the end of October. Then it'll be up to parents. But those experts worry that's where things could stall.
It's going to be hard to get these children vaccinated, just as hard as adults to get them vaccinated unless we have mandates.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Johnson & Johnson said Tuesday that a 2-dose version of its coronavirus vaccine is 94% effective in protecting against symptomatic infection. The company added that based on its ongoing Phase 2 trial, 2 doses offers 100% protection against severe or critical disease in the U.S. The company's shot has so far been administered to almost 15 million Americans as a single dose. J&J shared the new information in a news release, not a peer-reviewed or published study. However, if it proves out, The news means that 2 doses of the J&J vaccine 2 months apart is as effective as the 2-dose vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna. New tonight, investigators now confirming the remains found in Wyoming have been identified as those of Gabby Petito, and the initial manner of death is homicide. This comes to us as police continue their search for the boyfriend of Petito, Brian Laundrie, in Northport, Florida. Yesterday, FBI agents raided the Laundrie home, removing several boxes and towing away a Ford Mustang convertible. Authorities hoping this information can lead them to Brian Laundrie.
They're going to be doing a deep dive into social history. They're going to be geospatially mapping those phones. And at that point in time, they're going to really start building a case.
Last week, Florida law enforcement filed a separate search warrant to examine a hard drive found in Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie's white van. The document cited phone communication between Gabby and her mother as evidence of a growing tension between the couple. In one of those text messages, Gabby referred to her grandfather by his first name, which her mother said was unusual. Even though the coroner had determined her death to be a homicide, officials have not said how she died. President Biden appeared for the first time in person in front of the United Nations General Assembly. He wanted to convey that the U.S. has moved on from the former administration's America First agenda. But recent moves by the president have some allies skeptical. Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
The third plenary meeting of the General Assembly is called to order.
The United Nations General Assembly looking much like it did pre-pandemic, world leaders giving their speeches in person. The Secretary General, though, painting a bleak picture.
I'm here to sound the alarm. The world must wake up. Our world has never been more threatened or more divided.
President Biden focused on confronting and containing the pandemic.
Already, the United States has put more than $15 billion toward global COVID response.
The president also pushing for more cooperation to fight climate change. And he's looking for unity at a time when others are upset with the U.S. over its withdrawal from Afghanistan.
And as we close this period of relentless war, we're opening a new era of relentless diplomacy.
The U.S. has also angered France over a submarine deal with Australia. Plus, the UN Secretary General has warned the tense relationship between the U.S. and China could cause a Cold War.
We are not seeking a new Cold War or a world divided into rigid blocks.
Can we tell the UN Secretary if he doesn't want to see a Cold War with the United States and China, he needs to send that message to President Xi.
The General Assembly will run for a week. In November, the leaders will meet again in Glasgow to discuss climate change. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
CVS Health announcing a major hiring initiative that would create more than 100 career opportunities at CVS Healths across Mississippi. They're recruiting qualified candidates to fill 25,000 clinical and retail jobs during a one-day national career event on Friday, September 24th. Now, most of the available 100 positions are for full-time, part-time, and temporary licensed pharmacists, trained pharmacy technicians, and nurses. The nationwide hiring event represents the latest investment in the company's employees, who have worked tirelessly throughout the pandemic. A protest was held outside Carmine's Italian restaurant in New York City Monday evening amid allegations by 3 women charged with assaulting a hostess over a proof of vaccination request that they were racially profiled. Kimberly Richardson reports.
They are determined to hold Carmine's accountable on the heels of this ugly fight outside of the restaurant. Civil rights attorney Justin Moore represents Kaida Rankin. There in the black flowered dress, says this video tells only part of the story.
One of the members of the party pushes the hostess, and the hostess pushes back. And then that's what really happened. There wasn't a beat down. There wasn't punches being thrown. It was them shoving back and forth.
But today, Carmine says Thursday night on the Upper West Side, Rankin and 2 other women, quote, launched an entirely unprovoked, brutal attack on our hosts, one of whom continues to suffer from a concussion. This all began after the trio arrived. All agree the women had proper proof of vaccination for COVID and ID. They went inside to wait for 3 others to join them. The men then showed up, but Moore says 2 didn't have photo ID. They were told they couldn't eat inside. All 6, he claims, decided to leave.
As they were leaving, a manager, presumably the hostess's boss or superior, came out and told the party that it was okay, since they all had proof of vaccination, that they could come back into Carmine's.
But Rankin says as her party walked back into the restaurant, the hostess lashed out. At one point, another employee had to hold her back.
Not only was the N-word used, but this hostess called one of them a monkey.
But Carmine says no racial slurs were ever used by its staff, that this had nothing to do with race. It says once the ladies were seated inside, a hostess told them to have a good meal, and the women assaulted her. Rankin and 2 others are charged with assault and criminal mischief.
Still ahead tonight, international travel has been taking a major hit during the pandemic. But now, new guidelines may give the industry the jumpstart it's been waiting for.
We are very happy about this. We've been pushing on this now for almost 18 months.
A closer look at the new rules and how they may impact the U.S. economy.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. Clouds have been increasing today ahead of a cold front that is now situated in the Great Lakes region, and it is going to be a very slow mover. Initially, it will pull a lot of moisture from the south up to the Twin Tiers, and so as a result, we do have the possibility of a few showers, especially in the afternoon on your Wednesday. And then as that front just thaws out, we do anticipate some heavy rain could be possible on Thursday before this whole front moves away. This whole system gets out of here by Friday, and we should see a lot more sunshine. So if you are planning to do any yard work for the next 24 hours, it looks like not the best time to do that. If you're planning to mow, it looks like we do have the possibility of rain off and on during the day tomorrow. Temperatures around 69 degrees at 9 o'clock, 72 by noon, 73 by 3. So temperature-wise, not bad, but again, we do have wet weather on the way for Wednesday and especially for your Thursday. But Friday and Saturday, it looks like great days to do anything outside, as we are going to see plenty of sunshine. So let's take a look at our future radar, where we're finding some rain off to our west that will continue to inch to the east. So for tonight into early tomorrow, there will be a few showers, and then rain chances will start to increase as we head into the afternoon. There could be an isolated thunderstorm or two, but I think most of the rain will be just showers that will be moving in, and there could be some heavy rain late Wednesday into your Thursday. Notice the orange, then yellow, or the yellow and the red that's showing up. That's an indication of the heavier rain that will be moving in out ahead, or just right out ahead of that cold front. So chances of rain will continue into your Thursday. There could be some downpours during the day as well, but we are expecting all this rain to be moving out by the evening and press off to the east. We are expecting north winds to come in on Friday, maybe a little bit on the breezy side as we end the week, but it is going to be a lot cooler. Here's a look at your forecast. Cloudy, and it will be warm tonight with overnight lows only dipping down into the mid-60s. Highs tomorrow around 74 in Elmira, 73 in Corning, and also in Perkinsville. There will be a few showers tonight into early tomorrow, and the winds will also pick up tonight as well. A breezy day tomorrow, highs around 74 degrees. We drop down into the 60s by the end of the week. Again, there is the possibility of downpours on Thursday. We dry out on Friday, staying dry over the weekend, but we do have another cold front coming, and so by the end of the day on Sunday, there could be a few showers moving in. Overall, though, with these systems that will be moving in the upcoming days, that will keep those highs mainly close to normal or just a tad below normal.
A Kansas boy is growing his college fund by growing pumpkins. He's 13 years old and already has years of experience. Morgan Mobley caught up with this aspiring entrepreneur.
Every year, Boston Beck spends hours out here.
You got to give it lots and lots and lots of water. And it's Kansas, so it's going to be really hot. You got to do that about every single day until they're about the size of a basketball.
He's been growing pumpkins since he was 8 years old.
I just thought it was something like fun to do and just give us another hobby, and it turned out to be something big.
Something so big, just a regular truck to transport the crop won't do. So Boston takes a lap around his patch in a school bus.
You can haul way more.
Off to his front yard they go, and demand is high for Boston's homegrown pumpkins, selling out just about every night.
This weekend we about made $1,000 alone. We didn't think we were going to be making money, but then once we're starting to do that, it's like, well, what am I going to do with all this?
This 13-year-old has his sights set far beyond buying the newest video game. With his future in mind, he started a college fund.
You never know what's going to turn and what might go wrong, so he's got to have some backup plans and some backup money.
But the payoff is coming even before he steps onto a college campus. He's learning about life and himself on a Monday afternoon in his pumpkin patch.
Sometimes the smallest plant produces the biggest pumpkin, so it's kind of fun to watch.
After 86 years together, 86, a California couple is celebrating being the longest married couple in the United States. Jennifer Franco shares their secret to lasting love.
Togetherness. That is 104-year-old Ralph Kohler's secret to a long marriage. September 16th marks 86 years of marriage for him and his 103-year-old wife, Dorothy Kohler. They tied the knot in Tekamah, Nebraska back in 1935 and have been inseparable ever since. Their nuptials even got congressional recognition last year. Ralph says he and his wife's bond has transcended decades, in part thanks to compromise that included their favorite hobbies from bowling to ballroom dancing. We went down on Saturday and they were closed, and I thought, but she made arrangements for the next Saturday, and we was there for the next 8 years. Dancing took them all over the nation and earned them hundreds of awards over the years. Trap shooting put them on the All-American trap team at different times, but in 1952, their son joined the action. The only time in the history of trap shooting that's ever been, we're three of the same, we're on the same year. The couple's inspirational love story is being celebrated not just by their family.
Thank you very much.
Members of the community also honored the couple with cards and gifts. As he reflects on his marriage, Ralph only had good things to say about his other half, noting how little they argued. A sharp word once in a while, maybe, but it didn't last. He and his wife's commitment to each other paved the way for their success and a big, beautiful family made up of 6 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grandchildren. And as most wedding vows typically go, Ralph continues to honor his beloved for better, for worse, in sickness and in health.
He would just go and lay in bed with her because she wanted him next to him.
International travel has taken a major hit during the pandemic, but now new guidelines may give the industry the jumpstart it's been waiting for. Fully vaccinated people traveling to the U.S. from the UK and European Union will be allowed to enter once again. Jen Sullivan has a closer look at the new rules and how it may impact the U.S. economy.
New travel guidelines expected to give international travel a major boost after lagging badly during the pandemic. The U.S. is now easing restrictions on fully vaccinated foreign travelers from the UK and European Union, among other countries entering the U.S.
We are very happy about this. We've been pushing on this now for almost 18 months.
The American Society of Travel Advisors joining other industry groups in praising the changes. Starting in November, all international travelers must show they're fully vaccinated before boarding a plane to the U.S. Also, provide proof of a negative COVID-19 test within 3 days of the flight. And under the new rules, they will not be required to quarantine.
In our view, the science has been there to support a system like this for a long time.
The travel industry is celebrating the news. Airlines, hotels, and travel agencies all hoping this will help them recover from huge economic losses.
This is going to supercharge the travel industry's recovery. This is absolutely one of the key parts of the recovery, is restarting the international travel system on which so many of our members depend.
And this may not be just a boost for the U.S. economy. The holidays are around the corner, and in some cases, this travel ban separated families since it was put into place early 2020 to control the spread of COVID-19.
This is important economically. It's also important psychologically, too, for folks to be able to look forward to seeing friends and family after 18 months.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Getting your house ready for Santa Claus will be more expensive for some Americans this December. The artificial Christmas tree industry expects the price tag on its products to go up by double-digit percentages. Some holiday companies say current global supply problems caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and high shipping expenses are among the reasons why artificial tree costs are going up. A Navy veteran recently became a star on TikTok because at nearly 80 years old, he's still actively serving. Not serving in the military, mind you, but serving others out of a sense of compassion. Kent Erdahl has the story.
If you're wondering how a 79-year-old Navy vet on a scooter became TikTok's hottest new account, consider it a sign.
I'm a co-founder for a channel called Did You Know That? And we make educational videos for the deaf community that are fun and engaging.
Amanda Klein's neighbor Kenny Jerry isn't deaf and didn't know much about TikTok, but is fun and engaging.
He started learning some sign language, like yes. And
yes, and coffee,
What other ones do you know?
Oh, yeah.
Famous.
Yes.
His famous turn began just a week after his TikTok debut, when his beloved scooter broke down.
Sad about the scooter?
Until 650,000 followers showed up.
I just posted it, really honestly thinking, if we got lucky, maybe he'd get like $100 off a scooter or something.
Within hours, the TikTok community raised $5,000.
No, you're kidding.
And it has just taken off. People love Kenny. I mean, why not? I do too.
And the love has just kept coming.
They've given you $45,000.
What?
Kenny's GoFundMe has now surpassed $90,000. And counting.
I didn't think I'd get $1,000. And look what happened. Famous, I'm so honored, And my angels took care of me. They did. And now I got angels here. Good angels that take care of me.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. 14 black and white Magellanic penguins have been returned to the chilly seas off the Atlantic coast of Argentina after they were rescued and rehabilitated after suffering from malnutrition. The Butai penguins waddled down a windswept sandy beach after being released by conservationists and paused for photos with onlookers before taking the plunge back into the sea and swimming off to freedom. The Mundo Marino Foundation rescued those animals in February. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.